Hello there. It's Monday again, and I'm back down at the shed to do some actual work instead of just sitting at my computer and pretending I'm working. So I've brought the Raspberry Pi down here that I just got done configuring, and one of the first things I need to do is mount this base. I don't know if you can see it, if I can get the light just right. If you look at the base, you can see that there's a couple of little divots here to hold a screw. I'm going to take the Latte Panda out of the back box and screw this in its place and then mount the case on top of it. And that will be the new mounting fixture, and then we'll go ahead and give this a test. Make sure it's all working like it was at home and that it actually works right on the screen here. And if that's all good, then we will continue on. I say we like there's somebody else here. I will continue on working on some of the other things on the machine. Now, just to slide the camera down a little bit, I had planned on working on the pop bumper cap at home, but I didn't have any black vinyl at home, so I didn't get that done. I'm going to take these caps with me when I leave today and some extra black vinyl from here, and I will cut that at home and get that ready. So that's ready to go. I'm going to work on the switch down here. I'm probably not going to work on the drop targets, mostly because I have new drop targets to mount in here that need vinyl stickers stuck on them, and I haven't made those yet, so that will probably be done during the week, this coming week, and then maybe next week we'll get that installed. So that's about it. Maybe a few other things. I'll do some checking and make sure that all the switches are working and stuff, and I'll get as much of this machine working as possible. Mike has not gotten done painting the legs yet. He's got 2 of them painted. He has 2 more to paint, so I can't put the legs on. But anyway, we'll continue on working with what I can work on and getting this thing buttoned up. So let me swing the camera around, get you pointed at the back box, and I'll let you watch in high speed as I take out the Latte Panda and replace it with this Pi. So as you can probably see there, I mounted a couple of screws in there, but they're the wrong kind of screws. They're flat bottom screws instead of tapered bottom, and I'm not sure if they're sticking up too high or not. I certainly don't want them touching the bottom of my circuit board. So I'm going to put a couple of pieces of tape on top of them before I stick the circuit board in and to see if the circuit board fits. Okay, I put a couple of pieces of tape under there and mounted the processor in there, and it seems to be mounting flush. I don't think it's touching, so I think we're going to be okay. Well, that took a lot longer than it should have because of the way the wires are run out of here. I had to move the power supply. There just wasn't enough room for the cables I have. And the power supply, which used to be sitting right here. So I moved the power supply up onto the wall there. I had to rerun some of the wires because they were too short after moving them up there. And then I dressed up a little bit of the wires in here. It still has more dressing to do, but I haven't even turned this thing on yet, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So I need to get underneath, down under there, and plug the power in for the Raspberry Pi, and then I should be able to turn the machine on and see if it works. Okay, I think everything is plugged in, probably except for the pinball machine itself. So let me do that real quick. No, I guess it's plugged in. So let me turn this on. Now, this is the first power up, so we'll see if it does something. Okay, I'm not showing any signal, and that's probably because I didn't turn on the power connector on the Pi. Okay, so now it's on. It should boot up. It looks like it's rotated correctly. And if everything software-wise is working, we should very shortly have an attract mode video playing. And indeed we do. So, for right now, it looks like we are working well on the new Raspberry Pi 3B that Mike bought, with the software moved over and a nice clean build. So let me try and take through some of the playing and see how it works. The little protector is missing down here, so you know what, I haven't started a game yet, and I haven't put the glass on there. Both things are bad. Let's see here. Okay, there's the plastic. Let me hit a game. Okay. Whoops. The table is not sitting at the right tilt because the legs aren't on it, so. So it looks like that's a little sensitive still. I do believe that we're still missing those nails on there, so that's something I can take care of today. Let me see here. I advanced the bonus, the picture changed, so that looks good. Advance the bonus again, the picture should have changed again, but it doesn't look like it is. We have the 2x multiplier on now, so we're showing an R-rated image here. Okay, 3x has come on, so the rating should change. Doesn't look like it has, though. There we go, now the rating has changed. I think there's still a software thing here I'm going to have to work on. Okay. Well, I am not going to work on this anymore right now. I'm going to start looking at some of these things, like getting some nails installed in here and stuff like that. So let me turn the machine back off. I did bend the wire under here, so I think that hopefully has fixed the drain problem. Okay. Okay. That didn't seem to register. Okay, I'm going to look at that switch some more, make sure the contacts are clean, make sure that wire is bent so it's not hanging or anything, and I'm going to pull these off and see if I can find some nails to nail in there. Well, I didn't add any nails like I said I was going to do. mostly because I couldn't find any quickly. But I did adjust the switch a little bit, so it stopped at multiple bouncing and still seems to be fairly responsive. It's not real soft, but so it actually seems like these flippers could be mounted a little farther back, but they're as back as far as they can be on this table. So, you know, maybe it would be better if the rubber was moved a little farther forward. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at another table to see what it looks like. But I'm not going to mess with that anymore, so I'm going to put the plastics back on, and we'll call that good for now. Mike can decide if he wants to do any other work to it. One thing I am going to do while I have these plastics off is we've decided that these bulb simulators are a little bit too tall, so I'm going to pull them out and snip off about 3/8 of an inch and then put them back in. So I'll bring you back in just a couple seconds when I got that done. Not sure if you can see it here on the video, but I used our lathe to turn those down to shorter little things, and hopefully now the light will spread out a little more and illuminate a little bit more of these. Let me turn off the overhead light so we can get a better look at that. And yeah, I think that that does look a little bit better. There's still a little spot right there on that one. I might have to knock a little burr off the top of that light, but that looks a lot better. So yeah, I'm going to continue on working on some of these other longer bulbs in here. Okay, I thought I'd bring you over here to the lathe to show you how I'm cutting these little pieces of plastic off in case anybody's interested. So this is just a drill bit stuck backwards into the chuck that I'm using just as a spacer to space my plastic piece that I want to cut off into the jaw. I have a piece of white paper under here right now so that you can see our custom shaping tool that we ground. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for what we're doing. And so all I do is I open my jaws up a little bit, slip this piece of plastic in, and just kind of loosely get that into the chuck. Okay, and then on the end of the tailstock here, I have a hand crank, and I just crank that in 3 turns. 1, 2, 3, and that pushes that in as far as I want it pushed in, and then I back it back off 1, 2, 3, so that I have my spacing, and I tighten up my chuck. Doesn't take a lot for this plastic, and then I crank my RPMs up to about 500. Wait a minute, let me pull this piece of paper out of here. And then I just slowly crank this in. And we made this a combination parting tool and shaping tool, so it'll part off one piece right there, and then it'll shape the next piece. And then we just loosen up the chuck, pull it out. It leaves a little nib on the end because our tool isn't perfectly centered, but I have a little grindstone over here. I don't even turn it on. I just give it a couple of rubs on the grindstone to rub that burr off at the end. And with that, I have a nice rounded shaped lamp that's now the right size. I have turned off the overhead lights just to make everything here a lot more visible. I thought I had done all of the lights, but it looks like I might have missed one. Right back here. I think that one still looks tall. But I did all the rest of them. I did not do the ones underneath these big pieces of plastic here also. But that does definitely give a smoother light to the, especially like the girl up here. You can see how much nicer and smoother the light is there than like it is there with a bright spot on the arm. So a couple more need to be done, but I am out of time for today. So this is going to be it. I'm not sure you can see that up there real good. Let me move you in just a little bit closer. So hopefully here you can see the difference. So this girl has had the lights lowered on it, and they look a lot better. This one has not, and it's got this really bright spot. Now this one little dot right there, that's actually caused by the fact that there isn't a plastic thing to distribute it because of the metal bracket that's, focus, the metal bracket that's holding it there, and there's a hole in that causes this little spot. Now that's annoying to me, and I think I might talk to Mike about trying to do something, put a lens on top of it or cut that. That bracket's not doing anything, so maybe we can just take it off of there and put a light distributing thing in there, and that would get rid of all of these dark shadows around here and would make that look a lot better. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week.